Hello, welcome back. Today we are doing this beautiful pink, vibrant purple abstract flower painting. Ta-da! I really enjoyed doing this one. And here we go. Our white base is already on. We have a nice even layer across the canvas. And the first color we're popping in the center is light rose. So it is a light, very pale pink color. And the next color we're coming in with is red. So this is called Pyro Red. Popping that in on top of that. Next then we're coming in here with a light pink color, but more deep than the first light pink we put on, and this is Permanent Red Violet Light. So we're popping a bit of that on there next. And then the next color we're putting in is purple. So this is Permanent Blue Violet. And I'm popping that on top. And then the final color that we're putting in here in our little puddle is gold for that bit of sparkle. We have our pink and our purple, and we're running with that along with the white base. And here I am popping on more of the white base around the puddle, just so when we blow the puddle out, it flows effortlessly and looks really beautiful. I'm taking the hairdryer now and I'm blowing out from the center, trying to catch the gold. Make sure I'm blowing a bit of the gold out as well in each of the 5 directions here. Ta-da! Ooh, it looks really beautiful. But I am moving around the canvas myself so I can get the correct angle to use the hairdryer with. Now, that's our 5 directions. Looks like a bit of a mess, but this is where we'll trust the process and see what happens. Our next step then is adding in a bit of shaping. To do this, I'm using my baby finger and I'm running it from the outside of that puddle, so where the white base is, in towards the center. But for this piece, I'm not coming in a whole lot. You see, I'm still leaving a nice chunk of that gold there in the center. If you wanted a more narrow kind of center, you'd bring the piece in a bit more. That's what we're doing today. And we've popped it on the spinny thing and we've spun this out. And this is what we were left with. It's really beautiful. Now, I want to keep this piece a more abstract vibe of a flower. So I'm not changing the edges too much. It's just this edge here between both of the sections that I blew out is quite close to each other. So what I'm doing here is I've just taken off a little bit of the flower edge and I'm just popping on some more white base. So that'll dry seamlessly. Just wanted to keep a balance of the negative space there in between each of the sections. So that's just why I've done that here. And now the next thing that I'm going to do here is add in a bit more definition. I'm going to add in a bit more contrast. So here what I'm doing is I'm taking the red color and the palette knife and I'm very slowly, very delicately adding in an extra little bit of a detail there along the edge of that section that we blew out, just to give it more contrast with the white base beside it, because as it was, it's the pale pink color and I just thought it might look a bit nicer, a bit more definitive if I added in a bit of the red darker color there as well. So that's what I'm doing. This is where the spinny thing is very handy. I felt like such a professional when I was doing this piece. Imposter syndrome was not there that day. When you spin around the spinny thing, you don't have to move. Oh yeah, I can just do this here. So that's very useful. I'm just saying, feels very fancy. But all this is one of the swivel things you put in the middle of your table, and I've put double-sided tape on top of that. I've covered it in masking tape and then I've put double-sided tape on top of it and I stick a sheet of cardboard on top of that, and depending on the size of canvas I'll change the size of the cardboard that I stick on top. Yeah, it is my mam's, Don't know, is it called? It's called something. The swivel thing. I don't know what it's called. But under the premise I would give it back to her at some point. So it's very handy. Yeah, and you don't have to go out buying one. Use what you have. So here, what I've been doing for the past minute or so is adding in a bit more of the definition, but this time with the purple. I'm choosing the purple, or I'm choosing the red based on what colours have been in that section. And then I choose if it's mostly purple, I'll use a purple paint to add in some definition. And if it's a bit of red, I'll use the red. So yeah, that's just what I'm doing here. Now here, when I've added in the red, too much paint came onto the canvas. Now you can see it looks like a bit of a drop, a bit of a drizzle, and that was not the vibe I'm going for. So that's easy, just make it look a bit more seamless. So we'll wipe off the palette knife. I'll try to take a bit off, then I'll run the palette knife back up in the opposite direction than I initially dragged the paint down in. I'll see if that works. I'm not happy with that effect, so what I'm doing here is I'm just scraping it off into another shape, and then I will pop more of the white base on beside it to make it seamless. So one of the really beautiful things about fluid art, really, it's very quick, it's very movable, and it's very doable. You know, if something comes up that you don't like, you can very quickly change it or adapt it, which is a very fun process. It can be quite intense sometimes, but it's really very rewarding. It's one of the reasons I love it a lot. So we're just smoothing out that white base there, because we don't want any bumps. At least I don't in this painting want any bumps. I want it to dry nice and even. So with that, we are done with all of our changing. And I'm just spinning it out to give it one final push of all the paint that's on there, just so it'll spread out a bit more evenly. It's beautiful. I really love the colours. Yeah, pink. I'm coming back into it. I'm feeling the more pinky vibes. Maybe it's to do with summer. Maybe it's not. But yeah, I love it. I love it a lot. And here it is. Just some little details. And it's beautiful. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I will see you and chat to you again next week. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.